Hello and good afternoon. My name is Damian Adams. I am the retirement lead trainer here at National Life Group. I want to thank you all for joining today's webinar. Hopefully you all can hear me. If you have the chat feature in front of you, can you just let me know if you can hear me okay? I just want to make sure that my volume is okay. How do I sound here, guys? Oh, wonderful. Fantastic. Okay, so let's get started. Today you're going to have a wonderful time learning about this 403B 457 market. As I said, my name is Damian Adams. I will be your host for the next 45 minutes to an hour. If you do have any questions at any time, please utilize the chat feature, or you're actually able to unmute your phone and ask the question directly if you choose, okay? All right. So before we begin, I just want to make sure that you all have a general understanding of how the 403B market works, okay? Because there's a lot of misconceptions out there about this market in general. And I want to make sure that you all leave today with a basic foundation of how it works, okay? So what is the 403B market? Okay, so the 403B provides school district employees with an important way to save for retirement. All right, these plans allow employees to make independent decisions about how they want to contribute to the plan through their paycheck. And the really important thing to understand is in a lot of states, educators don't have access to Social Security. There's a lot of reforms in public state retirement systems as well. So the 403B is really, really important. And this is a great opportunity for all of you to get in right now, because there's a lot of teachers and educators and staff of these schools who actually need help. And in this COVID-19 situation, they're going to need your help. They're going to need your expertise. They're going to need the resources that National Life Group will provide to you to help them have a secure retirement. Okay? All right. So before we do that, let's get some of the misconceptions out of the way of what 403Bs are. A lot of you are new to the business. You might have heard some things. You might have talked to some other agents. And there's just a lot of information that a lot of times we're finding at National Life Group is simply is not accurate. So we want to kind of get those things out of the way. Okay. So let's talk about that. What I'm going to ask you guys, this is how we do a little interaction virtually. Within the certified class, we spend a great deal of time role playing, doing interactions when we're able to do these on site. But in the situation that we're in, we have to make the best of it. So I'm going to ask that you utilize your chat feature, and I'm going to ask you a question. And I want all of you to let me know, based off the chat, if this is true or if it's false. Okay, if it's true or false. So utilize the chat feature. All right. So the first question, can agents or clients open an individual 403B account? Is that true or is that false? Please utilize the chat feature. Is that true or is that false? Agents or clients can open up an individual 403B account. True or false? All right, good Greg, good Michael, good Wayne. That is false, everyone. Okay, we get phone calls every single day from agents calling us saying, hey, I want to open up a 403B for my client. Okay, well, as you can see from the first line up there, the 403B is a tax-deferred retirement savings program provided by certain employers. So it is an employer-sponsored retirement account. You as an agent cannot just open up a 403B for your client. Okay, that's one of the misconceptions, and we're going to talk about why, which is the next question. Are 403Bs standalone investments? Is that true or false? A 403B is a standalone investment. Is that true or false? Okay, we got a lot of trues here. True, yes, they are standalone investments. All right, that is false as well. Okay, again, we get phone calls from agents saying, hey, I want to invest in the 403B. Okay, When actually, in actuality, what they mean is they want to invest in an annuity contract or a mutual fund within the 403b. Because as we just saw from the previous question, the 403b is an IRS retirement mechanism. Okay, within that 403b, you have to invest in an annuity contract or a mutual fund. Okay, it's not like an IRA. A lot of agents come into this market thinking of it as an IRA, in which they can open up the IRA on their own, and they can service their clients that way, and they can invest in a mutual fund or so within that IRA. The 403b is different. You have to go through an employer plan, and that employer has to offer an annuity contract or a mutual fund for that 403b to work for your client. Okay, so think about it like a car. Your 403b is a car. Your annuity contract or your mutual fund is the gas. Without that gas, that car is just an object. It's just there to be used. Same way with a 403b. It's just a retirement mechanism to be used for your clients. But if they don't have an annuity or a mutual within that 403b, it's not going to do anything. 403b is just an IRS code for retirement plans. That's all it is. So for it to work for your clients, you have to put their money into an annuity each and every pay period. Okay. Next question. Can participants take money out of their retirement plan with a fixed index annuity? Is that true or false? Participants can take money out of their retirement plan with a fixed index annuity. Is that true or false? All right. No, we got some truth. We got some false. False. All right, let's see. That is true. Okay. Another misconception out there. What you're going to hear from your competition when they're trying to sell your clients is you don't want to invest in that fixed index annuity within your 403b. You're not going to be able to take your money out. Okay. That is not true. Your money is not locked up in a fixed index annuity within a 403b. Your clients can absolutely get access to their money when they need to within a 403b. So don't let those other agents out there tell your clients misinformation. Okay, but this is where we have to understand and we have to know the rules of the 403b, because you're going to get some agents out there that are going to try to poach your clients by giving them misinformation, telling them that the fixed index annuities are not accessible within the 403b. Okay, that is not true. Your clients do have access to their money in a fixed index annuity within the 403b. All right, next question. Same 403bs and 4057s have the same contribution limits. Now, since we're not going to talk about 403bs, I'm going to show you guys this answer. 403bs and 457s have different contribution amounts between employers and employees. Okay, but since we're really just going to focus on 403bs today, we're not really going to talk about this subject here. All right. All right. Next question. Employees can write a check or have a bank draft into their retirement account. Can your clients write a check or have the money deducted from their bank account for their contributions? Is that true or false? Is that true or false? Can your clients have the money deducted from their bank account, or can they write a check for their contributions into the 403b? Okay, we've got some yes, got some false, got some true. All right, that is false. All employee contributions into a 403b must be from salary reduction. Okay, so the money has to come from your client's paycheck through that employer. We're going to talk about how you can set that up. Okay, so your clients can never write a check into their contribution. They can never have the money deducted from their bank account. Again, a lot of agents think of it like an IRA, in which an IRA, you can have the contributions automatically deducted from your client's account. That is not the case with 403bs. It must come from salary reduction. Okay. All right. Every 403b must have a plan document established. Is that true or false? That is true. True. Got a bunch of truth. Okay. Absolutely. To establish any new plan, there must be a 4258, which we call here at National Life Group, the new employer information form that must be established. And we're gonna talk about that document, okay? But to establish any new plan, you all will need that document. All right, so here's just an overview of what we talked about. And just so you know, all of you will receive copies of this presentation so you can have it as a resource. You can always go back and reference this if you need to, just to get clarification on some information, okay? So you'll all receive this presentation. All right, it'll probably come from Juan, which I'll send it out to Juan and he'll have that and disperse that to all of you, okay? All right, so let's talk about this market. Let's talk about who's eligible to establish 403Bs. And it really comes down to, who do you know? We all know someone who knows a teacher, if we don't already know a teacher ourselves. We know someone that knows a teacher. We know someone who probably knows a cop or a firefighter or someone that works for a nonprofit organization. These are all your potential clients that you should be interested in talking to as soon as possible, okay? So let's break this down with 403Bs, okay? 403Bs provide school district employees with an important way to save for retirement, okay? So what does school districts mean? Okay, that means any employer-sponsored retirement plan of public schools. What's public schools? That's a teaching institution with a faculty, a curriculum, and enrolled students. Enrolled students. Okay, so if they have those three, they're considered a public school. All right, and that could be primary schools, that could be secondary schools, state colleges, universities, and public junior colleges. All right, so that's what you're looking for. That's a lot of schools out there. Right now, National Life Group, we're in over 6,000 different school districts. Okay, so it's your job to get out there and find out some of those school districts and how you can do business with them. Okay. In addition to that, I'm sorry, I went up too far. In addition to that, there's tax exempt organizations, 501c3. What is 501c3? What is that considered? That's organizations that are in business for general public welfare. So that's hospitals, charitable organizations, community service organizations, religious organizations, okay, as well as government operated hospitals, libraries, museums, and such. So if you know of any nonprofit organizations that someone works for or in your local neighborhood or one that you've contributed to in the past, by all means, reach out. Ask them, what does their plan look like? When are they doing another request for a proposal, which we're going to talk about, which is how you can get National Life Group on the platform. So it really just comes down to, who do you know, okay? And the third organization that can establish a 403B is considered churches. So if you have any churches or you know of any ministers of churches, these are prime prospects for 403B plan, okay? And we have a pastor on our relationship manager staff who works with churches all the time. So if you have any questions about getting access to churches or ministers, definitely give us a call. If you have any opportunities, we have someone on staff that can answer any and all your questions. And I'll provide you with that gentleman's name as well, okay? So it comes down to, who do you know? And especially in these times where we're all home, you know, we're social distancing, we need to still be making phone calls out to people, asking those general questions. Hey, how are you happy with your retirement plan? Do you know the person I could speak with to have a conversation about National Life Group? Okay, you can still make phone calls to those individuals that you do know. All right. So contribution limits. How much can your clients contribute to a 403B this year? Okay, so for tax year 2020, these are the limits. As you can see, $19,500 is how much your clients can deduct from their salary into the 403B plan. If they're over the age of 50 this year, they can contribute an additional $6,500. And they can do that on a pre-tax basis or a Roth basis if the plan allows. And this is where another opportunity comes in for you all. There might be some plans out there that have been established for decades, and they're really conservative. No one has approached them about adding the Roth component to their retirement plan. So I can tell you there's a lot of plans out there that only have pre-tax contributions allowance to their employees. If you can come along and say, hey, I know you have a young staff. Have you thought about adding a Roth component to your retirement plan? This is just a foot in the door for you, where this plan can actually amend their plan and add the Roth to that, and you would be the advocate for helping them do that, okay? So these are just opportunities that you always have to find to see if these plans can make any changes, all right? So in addition to the catch-up contribution, if you do know of any family, friends, or anyone that has worked for the same school district for more than 15 years, there is an additional catch-up that they can make as well, okay? And that's up to 3,000. So in addition to the 6,500 catch-up contribution, if you know of a client or a family member that has worked for the same employer for 15 years, they can make an additional contribution up to $3,000, okay? So in reality, they can make a contribution of $9,500 in addition to the $19,500. All right, this is a lot of great information that a lot of agents out there don't know, okay? But you can be that expert that can educate your clients on some of the benefits of contributing to the plan. All right, because you're going to get those teachers out there who say they don't want to contribute to the plan, okay? Does anyone have any general knowledge or understanding why teachers typically say they don't want to contribute to the plan? Let me see your responses through chat. What are some of the objections that you hear from teachers of why they don't want to contribute to the retirement plan? What are some of those things? Yep, don't make enough money. Absolutely, Linda. That's definitely one of the top three. Yeah, absolutely, Michael. No match. Teachers feel like some of them come from the private sector and they find out there's typically no match within 403B plans and so they say, what's the point? Absolutely. They're just starting out. Absolutely. They're young. They're not making a lot of money. They're just starting out. They're not familiar with it. Therefore, they don't do it. Okay. So this is where it's your job to overcome these objections. Okay. What we found is through an organization that we work with, a partner of ours, they found that the participation rate for 403Bs across the country is 27%. So if you and I were going on a sales call to a school and I said, you know, we're going to go into a meeting, there's 100 teachers that's going to be in this room, 73 of them are not participating in a 403B, you would get excited, right? That's what you can assume with most of the school districts that you're approaching. Close to 70% of them will not be contributing to the 403B for those several reasons some of you just named. They don't have enough money. They don't understand the 403B. There's no match, right? Their spouse makes enough. They don't need to contribute. You're going to hear all these things, okay? But in our certified class, we break down to you how you can overcome those objections, how you can show your clients why it's in their best interest to contribute to the 403B, okay? So just know once you're back out there, you're able to prospect. These are things you're going to hear from your clients of why they can't contribute to the 403B. And the best way and the fastest way for you to start making money for yourself is overcoming that objection. All right. Okay. All right. So as we talked about, so when you're able to sit down with your client, the way that they get money from their paycheck invested into the 403B is a salary reduction agreement. Okay. So what I would urge all of you to do when you have some time, which we all do, is go to the agent portal. I'm going to type in the category number for you to find this document. Okay. And what this document does, this is allows your client to agree to have a certain amount of their money deducted from their paycheck and contribute it to the 403B. Okay, so I'm going to put in this category number. So once you go to the agent portal, you want to just type in this number here. It's called a category number. It's at the bottom of every document. If you can see at the bottom right of this image here, that's the category number. Okay. All right, so with the category number, you want to go to the agent portal under forms and material search. I hope you all can see that. Okay. Look at that document and review it. Get to know this document as much as you possibly can. You want to know this inside and out, because I can't tell you how many times we have received a salary reduction agreement and it was incorrect and the agent had to resubmit this document. They had to go back to their client and resubmit it. And of course, it just holds up your commission, and you don't want to do that. So I would take the time, get to know this document inside and out. And actually on the agent portal and in our certified class, we provide you with a sample salary reduction agreement and what that should look like. Okay. All right. So a lot of districts also, they want a hard copy, but some of them do it online as well. But you just want to make sure you familiarize yourself with what it looks like and how to fill it out. All right. Okay. All right. So also, in addition to that, one of the problems that we find with agents is they sell a plan and they never reach out to their clients again. So we want to stop that. So we want to reward you all with a premium increase program, which provides a base renewal commission, and we provide you with additional commission if you can get your clients to increase their contribution as often as possible. So it's in your best interest to meet with your clients and get them to increase their contributions each quarter or at least once a year at a minimum. Okay, that's something that you definitely want to do. All right. So here is a slide that shows you all how you move between vendors. So you're going to hear from your clients in which they say, hey, I want to do an exchange, or I want to do a transfer. I want to do a rollover. Okay. There's a lot of information out there where clients are confused and agents are equally confused. So they might initiate a transfer when in actuality your client really just wanted to do an exchange. So we're going to go over what that looks like. So if your client is requesting an exchange, that simply means they're staying within that same district and they just want to go from one provider within that plan to another provider. So in this example, your client is currently with VALIC, which is AIG. You come along, you give a great message. They tell you they want to go with you, with National Life Group. So you're just going from one provider to National Life Group. Your client is moving their $10,000 from AIG to National Life Group within the same plan, okay? Within that same district. A transfer is just the opposite of that. Your client is saying, I'm separating from service. I quit my current job. I'm going from school district A, and I'm transferring all the way to school district B, totally out of the district, brand new district. And I want to transfer my money out of school district A, transfer my money to school district B. Okay, that's considered a transfer. So your client is leaving the district, they're leaving their job, they're going to a totally different job in a new district. Okay. Or if your client tells you they want to leave again, their current employer, and they want to roll it over into a 401k or another, an IRA or a 457, that's considered a rollover because they're moving the money not just to another 403b or 457, but they're moving it maybe to a 401k or their own personal IRA. So when your client brings this up, you have to ask clarifying questions. So if they say they want to do an exchange, your next question should be, so you're quitting your job and you're getting a new job at another district? Yes, I'm quitting and I'm going to another district. Okay, let's initiate the transfer. If your client says I want to do an exchange, okay, so you just want to move money from one provider within the same plan to another provider. Yes. Okay, I understand. So we just want to make sure you have a general idea. And again, you'll have this slide for you to reference after today. All right. General distributions. All right, while your clients are still employed, so these are considered qualifying distributions. So if there's death, disability, separate from service, IRS levy, they're 59 and a half, of course, they can request to have distribution from their 403B. The last one you see here, childbirth or adoption, that is simply from the Secure Act, in which your clients, if they've had a baby or they're having a baby or they're adopting a baby, they can withdraw up to $5,000 from their 403B account. This is pretty new. A lot of agents don't have this information. You're getting this today. So if you know of anyone, any teacher that's having a baby or adopting a child, you definitely want to let them know that there is a possibility that they can withdraw that money from their plan. Okay. All right. Of course, with 403Bs, if your clients are less than 59 and a half, there is a 10% penalty on that. Okay. All right. So just something to take note of. All right. So here's an overview of a 403B. So we just talked about ways to take a distribution. So here we're showing you ways to avoid, for your clients to avoid that IRS early distribution penalty of 10%. Your clients can attain 59 and a half. They could take out one payment, a minimum of one payment each month over a 5-year period, or 59 and a half after they separate from service. That's considered a substantially equal periodic payment. Your client says to the IRS, you know what? I'm leaving my job and I'm going to take at least one payment out of my 403B every year for 5 years. Okay, that's what that is. Or they attain 55, then they separate from service. Your clients can take money out of their 403B to avoid that 10% penalty. That's what those three are. Okay. As far as RMDs are concerned, depending on when your client was born, they either have to take the money out when they are 70 and a half or 72. As you can see, if they were born before 1949, they had to start taking their money out at 70 and a half. If they were born after June 1949, it's 72. Okay, really simple. If they don't, there's a 50% penalty. And if your clients have multiple 403Bs, they could take that RMD out of just one of them. They don't have to take it out of both. But our RMDs are only required if your clients are not working. Okay? If they're still employed or they're converting to a Roth IRA, they don't have to start taking those required minimum distributions. Really important. Okay, so I'm just going to pause a few minutes. Does anyone have any questions? Wayne asked, is it taxable? I'm sorry, Wayne, I missed whatever section that might have been. Is what taxable? I apologize for not seeing that earlier. Childbirth. The childbirth, yeah, that is still taxable. However, you don't have to pay it back as most of the other ones. You do have to pay taxes on that, yes. Okay. If they were born before 1949, then they have to take their distributions at 70 and a half.
Probably not.
Right. Okay. So any after June 1949, RMD age is 72. Before June 1949, RMD rules is 70 and a half. Good questions, guys. Okay. All right. So as I talked about before, your clients can either, if the plan allows, they can do pre-tax contributions or Roth contributions. You really want to find out if a plan provides for Roth contributions. That could be a win for you. A lot of plans are just traditional. They have a lot of young teachers who can really benefit from the Roth contribution. So that's something you definitely want to look into if you can. All right. If your clients do decide to take money out on top of the 10% penalty and the taxes, there could be an additional 20% mandatory withholding that the IRS provides. Okay, so that could be a lot of money that your client is giving to the IRS because they're taking money out before 59 and a half. Okay, as far as loans are concerned, there's no qualifying event for loans for your clients, depending on the plan, because all plans are different, just so you guys know. All plans are different. So if your clients don't have loans on their plans, they cannot take loans out. Okay, so you have to make sure that you understand through the plan document if the plan allows for loans. Right now, well, previously, excuse me, the rule was your clients are only able to take out 50% of their vested balance. Vested is just a fancy word for how much money they own, how much of their own money they put into the plan. Okay, so they're only able to put in 50% of that. Okay, all right, or 50,000, whatever is less. They had up to 5 years to pay it back. Okay, so this is all pre COVID-19. So let's get into what COVID-19 has done to the retirement plans. All right, let's see here. All right, so we talked about all the withdrawals pre-COVID-19. So I just want to provide you all with some updates on what COVID-19 and how that has changed retirement plans going forward, specifically 403Bs. Okay, so this is great information for you to know. So you're going to be able to arm yourself with your clients to be able to make phone calls or prospects just to give them the information that a lot of Americans out there have no idea. A lot of people are really just trying to survive right now. 22 million people have lost their jobs. Some people just don't have the information. They're not paying attention. This is where you can start making those phone calls and just educating your prospects and your clients. Okay, so as you can see here, if the plan allows, certain participants may withdraw penalty-free up to $100,000 from their 403B between now and between January 1 and the end of the year. That is excellent for a lot of people. All right. Of course, these individuals have to be the participant, the spouse, or dependent that has been diagnosed or has suffered financially from COVID-19. So it's not just everyone. You had to have been negatively affected in some way by COVID-19. Okay. And it's not just they lost a job. It could be financially in a lot of ways. But if they were sick, they had to stop working, they can take out $100,000 from their retirement plan, penalty free. That is an excellent benefit. Okay. Let's talk about RMDs. How has RMDs changed? Okay. So the CARES Act has waived the requirement for RMDs that's required to be paid this year. So if you have clients who are required to take out an RMD this year, that's waived for 2020. If they've already taken out their RMD, let's say before March, when COVID-19 really started taking effect on our country, then they can roll it back into their plan and defer paying taxes on it. Okay, so if they want to put that money back in the market, they've already made that payment before March or so when COVID-19 hit, they could put it right back into the plan. That is also excellent. All right, let's talk about the taxes portion. Okay, how does the taxes affect everyone going forward for this year? Okay, income taxes may be spread out over 3 years from the date participants take the distribution. Okay, so we know typically when people take money out of their retirement plan, if they made those contributions on a pre-tax basis, they had to pay taxes on it. Through the CARES Act, they're now saying you can spread that over a 3-year period, which is awesome. Okay, they also have the option of putting the money back into their account before those 3 years are up. So what that means is, as we saw earlier, your clients were only able to contribute up to $19,500. Right now, they could put that money right back in, those taxes back in. So that could be in addition to the $19,500. All right, loans, as we talked about. Remember we said loans were 50-50? Okay, well now they've increased that to 100-100. So your clients are able to take out 100% of what they've contributed to the plan, their vested balance, or 100,000, whatever is less. Okay, so that only applies to loans made on or before September 23rd. And that only applies to individuals who suffer financially or directly, medically, or health-wise from COVID-19. Okay. All right, as far as the loan payments are concerned, Those payments due from March 27th, when the law went into effect, to December 31st may be delayed up to 1 year. Okay, and again, you all have this information when we send these slides out to you. So if you need a refresher when you're having conversations with your clients, you do have this information. Okay, but the interest on these loans will continue to accumulate. Really important. The interest will continue to accumulate. Okay, this is just regarding the loan payments, what your clients have to pay back. But interest will still be accumulating on these loans that your clients take out. So really make sure your clients understand that. You don't have to make your payments between March 27th and the end of this year, but it's still going to be accumulating interest. Really important. Okay. So these are considered hardship distributions. So if your clients find themselves in difficult situations while they're still employed, they can request a hardship distribution. Okay. So these are the 6 here. All right. Hardship distributions, only the participant contributions may be withdrawn. And that simply means with a lot of 403B plans, there are employer contributions. With some of them, they're employer. They're saying only the contributions your clients made will they be able to withdraw. Okay, they can only take out exactly what they need. If they need $5,000 for medical bills, they can only take out $5,000. Okay, but it's still going to be subject to income tax, and it might be a 10% early, 10% withdrawal penalty as well. Okay. All right. So that's the 403B. That's the basics of the 403B. And again, we go more in depth with our 403B certified class that we hope all of you can join at some point. We have some open up to June, I believe the 28th. Those are really the ones that are open right now. If you want to go out to June and register for those are free trainings. I would definitely sign up as quickly as you possibly can. All right. So let's talk about getting access to some of these slots here. All right. So we're going to talk about existing slots, and then we're going to talk about new slots. Existing slots are slots that National Life Group is currently in. So what does that look like? Okay. So here's a map of all of the plans that we are in the United States. Okay. So it's important to understand the various status of those plans. So let's take a look at that. So what you're seeing in the red is considered restricted slots. What is a restricted slot? Is one in which the school district limits access to a specific number of agents or a specific agent or provider. Okay. So this is from the district level. This is not National Life Group's decision. This is from the district level. They want to restrict how many slots they allow in their particular district. They want to restrict the amount of agents that they have working in their district. So if you call us and say, hey, I want to get into this district, and we say, I'm sorry, it's restricted, that's not coming from us, that's coming from the district. They're saying, we only want 3 agents working our entire district. Okay. And for you as an agent, that's a gold mine. If you can open up a new slot somewhere in a new district and you do a great job, that district can be restricted just for you. So no other agent can even work that entire district. Okay, that's where you want to be. What you see in the yellow is considered protected. What's protected? These are slots committed to an agency and protected by National Life Group when the agency agrees to meet a minimum production level, right? And what is that minimum production level? That's 35 applications a year up to 500 employees. So for school districts that have up to 500 employees, if you can get 35 people to sign up through flow annuity contributions every year, we will continue to protect that slot for you. It will be your slot. Okay, 35 per 500. So of course, if there's 1,000 people in a district, then you have to open up 70 applications a year. Okay, and then lastly, we have, you see in the green is open. These are all the open slots available for all agents to conduct business. Okay, you see we got a lot of open slots there. So depending on where you are, you want to reach out to your relationship manager if you have any slots in mind or districts in mind, and they can tell you exactly if it's something that you can pursue. All right? All right, so within that, we also have different relationship statuses. Okay, we have active, low production, and dormant slots. Okay, so these are relationships with National Life Group. Okay, so our retirement services team is the key contact for your relationships. Okay, a lot of agents we find go to the biggest districts, the largest districts, and the most populated districts, and they want to work those. Okay, so you'll just be one of thousands of agents in a particular district. Okay, so would you rather be a big fish in a little bowl or a little fish in a big bowl? There's a lot of opportunities out there. So we're in Dallas. And you know, agents always want to go straight to Dallas ISD when there's so many different districts surrounding Dallas ISD that agents can still make a lot of money off. So no matter where you are, I'm sure there's a big city where you are, and that's the first place you want to go. You absolutely can, but we will definitely probably steer you in some other directions to help you be successful. Okay, so what does active mean? Active just means a relationship between us and an employer. Okay, it doesn't mean that anyone can go, because there are some agent restrictions, so you have to check with the relationship manager. Okay, all right, just because it's active doesn't mean you can just go in. You want to make sure you check first. Then we have low production. Low production means, as we talked about, the agent in there, there's been less than 25 to 30 applications written in the past 12 months. So that's really low production. If you're in Florida, Florida is totally different. Please reach out to Jacob, who I'll give you his information. Okay, if you're in Florida, the low production slots are typically different from most other states. Okay, and dormant slots means there's been no activity within a year or more. Okay, this is probably where we're going to direct you. Okay, it means we have a relationship with them, but the agent hasn't been doing any business, so it's an opportunity for you. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're calling us and you're finding out, you're doing your due diligence, you're prospecting, you're calling, because it can really be a home run for you. Okay. All right, and so in addition to that, if you can open up a dormant slot, we're going to provide you with some slot bonuses. As you can see, the slot bonus here, if the number of employees in a district is 500, just to open up that slot, we're going to give you guys $250 right off the bat. Okay. All right, and as you can see, the bigger the district, the more the payout is, the initial payout. Okay, part two of that is we don't want you to stop there. We don't want you to just open up a district. We want you to continue to sign people up. So based on the amount of people that you're able to sign up, we're going to give you $15 an application in the first year, $20 an application second, $30 in the third year, for a maximum of what those amounts that you see there. Okay, so there's incentive for you to keep adding people into that slot. Keep signing people up. Keep those annuity applications flowing. Okay, you don't want to stop there, because you can make a lot of money for yourself by simply having people sign up, and it all comes from word of mouth. Okay, so something to think about. All right, as we talked about the salary reduction agreement, here's the life change of the year. This is how you get access to those districts. What we tell agents in our certified class is you want to be an advocate. You know, you don't want to be the agent that's just going in there, just trying to sell right off the bat. You can, of course, but we found those agents that have been effective, they have gone in looking to help the districts. What way can you contribute to that school or that particular district? Okay, is there a reading program that you can get involved in? Is there other volunteering opportunities that you can get involved with? This is all on the websites of the schools. How are you showing your face? How are you showing as someone that can help that district? Okay, one of the ways you can do that is through our Life Changer of the Year program. This is basically a rewards and recognition program for staff of K through 12 schools, be it public, private, or charter schools. Now, mind you, I didn't say teachers. This is staff. Okay, a lot of our winners in our Life Changer of the Year have been janitors, bus drivers, lunch people. Okay, so your message should be, when you're able to, is calling schools, approaching schools, say, hey, is there anyone within this school that you feel have gone above and beyond or the students, I can tell you 9 times out of 10, they can name someone. Well, let me tell you about National Life Group's Life Changer of the Year program. It's a rewards and recognition program that will recognize that person in which they can win a grand prize of up to $10,000. Half of that goes to the winner, half of it goes to you, the school. I could tell you you'll see the eyes light up of that administrator or that person. Schools can always use any type of funding. So if you can tell them they can get $5,000, they're willing to listen. Okay? Anybody in that school can be nominated. You, as the agent, can nominate anyone in that school. Okay? So that's the grand prize of 10,000, but there's 16 other prizes as well where they can win 5,000. 2,500 to the winner, 2,500 to the school. In all cases, the school wins as well. Okay? Not only do they win money, but we also make it a big deal. We have the big check. We call a local newspaper. We get everyone involved in that school. And why not be right next to that person holding that check, getting all that exposure as the agent? Okay, so this is a great time and opportunity for you to really get your foot in the door by just recognizing some staff at the school. Okay, so I would take some time, as you see the website at the bottom, I would take some time to gather some information on the Agent E-Kit for Life Change of the Year. I promise you, you'll find a lot of great information there, right? All right, so let's talk about new slots and what that looks like. All right, so you've gone into a district, the National Life Group is not on the platform. What does that mean? How do you go forward? Okay, so they might even want a single provider, but most plans will want multiple provider solutions. So there might be 15 different providers on that 403B platform. Okay, so a National Life Group, we can be added to that plan with your help. So let's talk about how to do that. Okay, so here are the steps to do that. All right, number one is you want to understand that current plan. And one of the ways that you can do that is getting the plan document of that particular district. This will tell you any and everything you need to know about that plan. Do they offer loans? What are their rules regarding distribution? Who can contribute to the plan? It lets you know everything that you can know about that plan. You can call and you can request this information. You can request a plan document. Okay, either from your client, they should have a copy of it, or you can find it on some websites. Number two, you should understand the state pension and where you live. I can tell you when you start sitting down with your clients, they're going to ask you about the state pension. How does this 403B relate to my state pension? So you want to know that like you know your children, inside and out. Because ultimately, again, one of the objections you're going to hear, I don't need this 403B. I have the state pension. I'm fine. I'm covered. Okay. And which we know, though, a lot of state pensions are not funded at 100%. So your employees, if they depend, your clients, if they depend solely on that state pension, they're going to fall short of their retirement goals. And they're going to ask you, why didn't you let me know? Why didn't you inform me that I needed to supplement my state pension with another retirement plan? Okay. All right, and then the third thing, the 403B playbooks. You want to make sure you look at the 403B playbook as often as you can. It gives you all the resources and information you need to know about the 403B, and that is on the agent portal. Okay. The website that you see here, I want all of you to go to this website and play around. This is an excellent tool for you to get general information on districts and schools. Okay, in our certified class, we do a deep dive into this website to show you where you can find information, where you can find the administrator's name, or where you can find the HR person's name. How many teachers are in that school? What's the demographic of that school? How many men, how many women? Okay, a lot of great information from this website. So when you have some time, I would just play around in that website. Wherever you are, whatever districts you are interested in, I would type it in the search field and it will give you some great information on that particular district, okay? Locate 2 key contacts using that district or the school's website that you find from NCES. Okay, reach out to the relationship manager, which I'm going to provide you all with a map at the end so you'll know who your relationship manager is. Access the agent portal so you can get all your marketing materials. Visit the plans, okay, when you're able to. Go out there, show your face. Let them know who you are. Volunteer, okay, work with the school. It'll only help you in the long run, okay? All right, so how do you get National Life Group added as a new relationship? First question is, do they currently have a 403B plan? If the answer is yes, okay, you want to ask, what is the process to get us added as a new vendor? So they have a 403B in place. You want to know, so how can I get National Life Group added as a vendor? Okay, you'll hear several ways. There's a formal way typically, and there's an informal way. Formal way is an RFP, which is a request for proposal. It really is just a way of schools and districts to say, you know what, if you want to be on our platform, you have to show us why you're deserving to be on our platform. We're going to list a bunch of criteria that you need to meet to be on our platform. So what National Life Group does, we have a team of RFP writers who will put together an RFP for you. And we will say, National Life Group, this is why we should be on your plan. 170 years in the business, #1 provider of fixed index annuities and employer plans. Here's our customer service, here's our staff, here's our training. These are the agents that we work with. We will sell the plan for you. Okay, that's really the formal way that a lot of these districts look to have new providers come on their plan. But in your pursuit, you might run across a plan that says, well, you know what? I'll give you a shot. How about if you can sign up 10 people over the next 3 months, I'll put National Life Group on the platform. Okay, that's just a number that I'm throwing out. A lot of them say 10, some say 5. We had one agent, lady said 20 applications. Agent was able to do that. Okay, so that's an informal way. All right, so you just have to be ready to get rolling and bring that business in if they tell you that you just need to write a certain amount of applications to get National Life Group on the platform. But most times than not, they're going to request, excuse me, a request for a proposal. All right, and just let us know as soon as you find out this information so we can get the ball rolling and we can start putting together our team. Okay. All right. All right. If they don't have a 403B established, they need to establish a 403B first. Okay. So they have to establish that through their plan documents that we talked about. So if you do run across an organization that does not have one established, again, please reach out to us. We have a list of third-party administrators that we can help you help this employer get set up. Okay. All right. All right. So this is the 4258 form. This is the new employer information form. Okay. Again, you want to get started with this, getting to know this document. Although the plan sponsor will fill this out, this is the document that is needed to get National Life Group established as a provider on that plan. Okay. So with this form, you want to take some time, get to know this form. Let me write the number of this form on the agent portal. Let's see here. So you all can reference it after today. Okay, so this is, as you see there in the chat, that is the category number. So I would download that form, review it, know this one inside out as well, because this can hold up you being on a platform as well if you submit it and the information is incorrect, which you don't want to do. Okay, so we provide you with some information. What we want you to do, we want you to do some homework for yourself. So we provided you with a state, some general information. Try to fill it out yourself. But we do have some information online. We have a sample 4258 already filled out for you that you can find on the agent portal as well. Okay, but just familiarize yourself with this document, along with the salary reduction agreement. These are your two most important documents. Salary reduction agreement is for your client to sign up and say, this is how much I want deducted from my paycheck each pay period. The 4258 or the employer information form is for you to establish a relationship with that employer and National Life Group. Okay. All right. All right. So here are the steps to open up a new slot. Okay. So you can read through that. We talked about most of these already. These are the steps that we want you to go through to open up a new slot. Identify that new slot opportunity, submit the 4258 along with that salary reduction. Okay. There's a slot bonus form that because you open up that slot, will also pay you as we talked about. Submit the SRA. And on an ongoing basis, you want to make sure you're at least getting 35 applications per 500 employees, okay? And make sure you adhere to National Life Group rules of engagement and our compliance manual, okay? You want to be in good standing with us so you can continue your business, okay? All right. All right, so here are some of the advertising rules. If you have any advertising that you want to send out to your clients, please just run it through us. As you can see in the middle here, their ad review at National Life. Just run it past us and let us know, okay? And we can make sure that we'll either approve that for you or tell you we already have some resources on the agent portal where you don't have to do that. And that's typically what happens a lot of time. We have everything that you really need already at your disposal on the agent portal, okay? All right, this is really a slide because we get agents that try to send emails like they represent the district. You know, just don't do that. You'll just get yourself in trouble. We had an agent that crashed a server on a particular district, and of course, that agent didn't have access to that district ever again. So again, just make sure you're being honest. Just because you have a list of you know, employees' names or so at a particular district, you don't want to just email everyone at once. You want to make sure you're calling the school, telling them who you are, who you represent, and asking permission to send out some emails, okay? All right. All right. So some do's and some don'ts here. All right, as you can see, some do's, you want to make the appointment, you want to keep the appointment, sign in and out. Do not bring any weapons on campus. Texas, we have people that go into the parking lot and they transfer their weapon from their hip to their car. Schools have cameras all around. If they see that, they're calling the cops. So don't even bring any type of weapons on school grounds. School grounds being the parking lot, okay? Don't talk to the students and do not lie as well, okay? Pretty simple stuff. And what we ask you to do is if your clients want to talk about life insurance and you're on site, say, absolutely, we can talk about it. Let's meet tomorrow or let's meet later at a coffee house. The school is allowing you on campus to talk about the 403B. Don't ruin that relationship by talking about insurance. And I can tell you a lot of times it gets back to the school because the word gets around that Joe Schmo talked about life insurance, he can help you with life insurance, and you will lose your access to that school. So that's something that you probably want to stay away from. Just tell your client that you can talk about that at another point, okay? All right, so as I talked a lot about our certified class, I want you all to make sure that you attend our certified classes because you want to get this badge. This helps you stand out from the sea of sameness from all the other agents out there who don't have this badge. This badge represents an expert 403B agent, knowledgeable, ethical training. We provide you with all those things, okay? So we want to make sure that you're all attending your webinars, and we want to make sure that you're getting those 5 flowing applications over the next 12 months, okay? So this badge will really help you make a lot of money for yourself. I can't tell you the difference between agents that have the badge and the agents that do not have the badge and how much they make. So you want to make sure you're getting that badge. And to get that badge, we want you to attend these webinars that you see here, as well as getting 5 applications in a 12-month period, which if you're working hard, that should not be a problem, okay? So here are the upcoming webinars. And again, you're going to have this, this calendar in the presentation that we're going to send out. As you can see, I've highlighted the intro to the track, which is, I hope all of you can enjoy and learn a lot from, because it's a really good webinar for you all to learn about how to navigate the track software when you sit down with your client, okay? All right, so last steps, 10 steps to success. We believe, based off the research that we have, if agents follow these rules, they will be successful in this market, okay? So everything we talked about before, this is the steps that we feel like you should take. Okay, review the playbooks, know your state pension inside and out, visit the NCES website, identify the key contacts, then call the relationship manager to validate opportunities, go to the agent portal, get the sales literature, visit your plan sponsor. We want you to register for track, okay, then register and attend those webinars, and then secure those 5 applications in a 12-month period, okay? If you follow these steps, we believe you should be pretty successful, okay? So here's the map. Wherever you're located, these are the relationship managers that we want you to reach out to for opportunities. Again, you're gonna have this map in your presentation that we're sending out to you. So if you don't catch it now, you should be getting that before the end of the day, okay? All right, so any questions about the training after today, you can see the website, the email address, trainer@National Life. Please give us a call. Please email us if you have any training questions, okay? If you have any slot questions, contact your relationship manager, and they will be able to answer any and all of your questions, all right? Any questions before I end? I want to be respectful of your time. Is there any questions that any of you have? Can you show the previous slide? Sure. All right, so that's the map and the questions. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, if you do have any questions, again, please reach out to your relationship manager. All of you should receive this presentation as well. Any questions you have, please email us at trainer@nationallifegroup.com. But I also would urge all of you to look at the agent portal and see when our next certified class will be, so you can get more detailed information on everything we talked about today, okay? So good luck in your sales, and everyone, please stay safe out there, and we will hear from you soon. Thank you.